We're gonna remove the cuff off of our long sleeve button-up shirt. You're going to seam rip right in here. Right in there. Here I've already done it. Just get these last stitches out. You have 2 pieces. And we're going to, oh, okay. We're going to do it only by 1/2 inch. So we're gonna add 1/2 inch to where the stitches were before. Let me see if I can zoom in. You can see right along here, that's where the old stitches were. So we're gonna add 1/2 inch to that. I'm gonna mark with my chalk. And then we're going to put this back inside. You're just gonna follow the way that it was before. If you see, mine should just barely fit to not mess up the buttonhole. So I'm just gonna trim it the littlest bit, but only on the edges so that it'll still have some excess to let out later if we need it in the shop, but also so that we can fit it in there. Sorry. Let's add some more markings. So we're doing 1/2 inch. Half an inch up from the last one. I'm just making them all the way around. Remember, not 1/2 inch from the bottom, but 1/2 inch from the old seam line. And then we're going to tuck this back in here, making sure that it's where the pink line is. Taking our pins, and again, we sew this way, so we put our pins perpendicular. And for my shirt, it had little pleats in it. So I'm gonna redo those pleats. So I'm just folding it over. Back into place where it was. And here too. Why does it look like that? Oh, sorry. It goes this way. And then there's one more pleat. And I'm doing this on the sleeve first, so that then when I'm putting this back into the cuff, I can look for my pink lines to match it up, but my pleats are there nicely. And then I'm gonna take these out and just use them to go through the whole cuff so that it'll stay better. I'm gonna keep tucking this in here. Let me trim this side a little bit more because it's gonna go right where the buttons are. So it makes it a little bit tougher to squeeze. And we're just pinning straight through all the pieces. And because as you go up the sleeve gets a little bit wider so that it can, you know, let you move in it. we might have some extra fabric that we might turn into one more pleat. So there's that, moving it up. And then see, we have extra fabric right here. We have extra fabric right here. So we're gonna make one more pleat with it. And you can just do this at your own discretion. I see my pink line, so I know this is matching up. And then here where that extra fabric was, I'm just gonna make sure it's nice and straight. And fold it in. Now there's 3 pleats. When you're doing this, because you're doing it by hand, you're gonna do the slip stitch to make sure that you slip it in between and it doesn't show. If you're doing it by machine, you could just stitch over it in the color you want. So we're gonna stick the needle in, and I'm trying to do it behind, but also between so that you won't see the thread. And I'm tucking it back in, and remember the slip stitch. We are trying to catch, and I guess I'm gonna have to show it through the back. I hadn't thought about that. It's gonna show a little bit through the back so we make sure we get all the layers. But in the front, we're gonna try to slip it between the pieces. So we're going through there, but then when we get to the front, we're gonna slip it through those 2 layers so that we catch it. You can see it on that side, but you can't see it on this side. And then we're gonna go back all the way through. So you still can't really see it. When we're coming back through, we're gonna slip it between the fabric. If you're having a really hard time, you can probably just do a really clean and neat running stitch, but really close together. And I'll do a version of that right now too to show. So if you're using thread that isn't the same color, it'll show, but normally you wouldn't be. So then we're gonna do a really neat running stitch. And nice and small. See the pink that's showing? And we're just going to do a super neat put together. Sorry, mine keeps getting caught on the little button here, so you might have that same problem. And just do a really tight, short running stitch. That might be a lot faster too than the other. Just make sure it's very neat and the stitches are tiny. Let's see. And that's it. You're gonna go all the way around and then you'll have your sleeve shortened.